welcome to the Intuitively Wild podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Levine. Living intuitively wild is about coming back home to ourselves. Here, we talk about how to live connected to ourselves, others, and nature, and make a commitment to radical authenticity, vulnerability, and acceptance. On this podcast, we delve into a wide range of topics that span the human experience. We peel back the layers and talk about the things that are often not talked about. This is a space for us all to walk and wander this path of life together. Let's dig into our roots and go deep. You're gonna stay there, okay?
He's so attentive.
Yeah, he's very aware of all the things going on at all times. He's my little protector. Okay, Chelsea, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you and to officially meet you.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yes. Okay, first question.
Yes.
What is something you wish people knew about you that you don't think many do?
Oh, wow. That's tough. I think a lot of the feedback that I've gotten from friends before we became friends is that they thought I was mean because I have like a pretty intense resting bitch face. I look mad all the time.
Interesting.
And I am not like a mad or angry person. Mm-hmm. So I think it's like I'm approachable. Like you can come talk to me.
Mm-hmm. I think that is the manifestor aura in human design. They do give off that kind of like kind of scary energy.
Yeah. Intensity.
Intense. That's a good word.
That's the Scorpio rising
yes.
in me too, is like there is this intensity. Oh, Theo found his duck.
Yes. Hopefully he'll stay over there and leave us alone now.
The podcast mascot.
Yeah. Truly.
Yeah, so it was funny to like learn those things about yourself because you're like, oh, like that's why I'm like that. Mm-hmm. And you're like, then you can kind of make peace with it a little bit and also have that awareness around it.
Yeah, that is what I feel like astrology and human design does, is it helps us conceptualize ourselves a little bit more and just put words to it and accept it more.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, but I would love to hear about when you learned about being a manifestor and how that felt for you and how that's impacted you so far in your life.
Yeah, it was a pretty powerful thing for me to realize because I have always worked in like really fast, short chunks. Mm-hmm. And then I need a lot of time to recuperate from that. And so it was hard for me to understand if I was just like being lazy or if I should like push through that. And I've always worked in professions that like you need to push through and you need to have endless energy. And so when I was told that like working in short spurts and then having time to recuperate is actually the way that I need to work to be the most productive version of myself, I was like so validated. Mm-hmm. And that I only have a certain amount of energy for one day. And then it's like, it's burned out, it's done, which is how I feel at the end of the day. I'm like, okay, like my brain does not work anymore. I can't work anymore, or else I'm going to make a mistake on something. And so that gives me permission to like put things down and pick them up the next morning, which was really great because I would see myself making mistakes in work and getting so frustrated because I know that I'm smarter than that. That's how I'd be like, why am I doing this? So now I have permission to like set things down and come back to it later.
I love that. I think it's so important for people to hear that because there is this framework in the business world of how you're supposed to show up. Mm-hmm. And consistency is such a huge part of that. And many people are not consistent. And we all have, yes, if we're speaking in human design, a lot of us are generators and have this type of consistency in certain ways, but we all have these nuances and different layers, and no one is always consistent.
Right.
Especially if you're a manifestor.
Yeah. Well, and that the world is now filled with mostly like manifestors and generators who have all of this energy to give. And it's like why we have the corporate culture that we do. And then to be like an outsider to that, to be like the manifestor, the projector, the reflector. I mean, I can't even imagine being a reflector. And, you know, having to like try to conform yourself to the cycle that the majority of the world is. It's powerful to understand how to like circumvent that and navigate it a different way.
Yeah. So when did you learn about being a manifestor, and was that when you started to transition how you approach your work, or did it happen before that?
It happened before that. I just kind of learned about this a couple months ago. It was something that was like always like on the periphery, because I've always been interested in astrology and all of those things. And then I was like, oh, human design, what's this? And I had kind of already started to like make peace with how I worked and not see myself as like lazy or that I could be doing more, and just be like, you know, this is who I am. This is what works best for me. And how do I create work for myself that allows me to work in that capacity? So yeah, it was two things almost happening simultaneously, of like learning about it, but also realizing that this is who I am as a person, and then getting the validation for who I am as a person.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you were already finding that acceptance and embodiment first, because that's self-trust.
Yeah.
And you really self-trust without this proof, without someone else giving you that permission slip.
Yeah.
And so having that first kind of builds the foundation, and then you can just strengthen it from there.
Totally. Yep.
Okay. We've been following each other on social media for not too long, because I've only recently moved to the area. But I did see you transition your business in different ways. And I really want to talk to you about that, because I think it's something that a lot of people are scared of, change, and changing their business, pivoting in public, and the whole process of that. So I would just love to hear about that decision and how you've approached that.
Yeah. I am someone that's done a million things. I
know, at first I thought you were going to be a manifesting generator.
Yeah. I have done a million things. I'm not great at like staying in one thing. And I think part of that is maybe because I was trying to conform my energy to these environments that were not meant for my energy.
One thing I will say though, sorry.
No.
Manifestors are meant to like start things and not necessarily finish them. So it could be that as well.
And that's a lot of what it is. We're like the facilitators to bring on change, and then we get to like go do something else. And so I thought that that was me just not being able to finish one thing. And again, in the world that we live in, that to me felt like a failure in a lot of ways. But I have always had the ability to pivot quickly into something else and to leave what I was doing better than I found. This is something I'm very proud to be able to say, and that I will like kind of be a little boastful about, is that I've always left things either better than I found them, or in a way that it makes life easier for the people that need to pick up what I'm leaving. And I am like very happy to be able to say that. That's something that I'm really proud of, because I don't want to leave things a mess for others to pick up. So backtracking a little bit, I was born and raised in the Hudson Valley. I left for about a decade, and I came home in 2019. I had a full life in Boston. I'd been there for 6 years. I got my master's degree out there. I worked out there, and my life kind of came to an end there. And I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. It's not my place. It's not my people. And so I quit my job, moved home with zero plan.
The best plan.
The best plan is no plan. And I was like, I'm going to take the summer and just hang out at home, and then I'm going to move to the city. And I'm going to go back. I was working in the events world, so I was like, I'm going to go back into the events world. And the day I drove my U-Haul back home and parked it in my grandmother's driveway, I went to a salsa night that they had in Rosendale every single Thursday, and I ended up meeting my husband that night. Didn't know it at the time. And, you know, we started dating in the fall, and I kept going on these job interviews in the city, and nothing was working out. It was always like, we're going to go with the person that already lives here and go with the person that's been here for 10 years. And so I had a friend that was like, I think you should get your real estate license. Like, you need something to do, study for the test, and then like it's so low pressure if you don't want to do it. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll try it. And I got my license a month before the pandemic. And then I sold real estate for the next 4 years.
Wow.
Until I was so massively burnt out. I like didn't know who I was anymore. It was an incredibly challenging 4 years of my life. Most money I've ever made in my life, but if there is any example of money does not make you happy or satisfy your true needs as a human being, it's that experience. So never chase the money. Got to chase what you love. And so I left, and I was like, I'm going to take at least 6 months off and like get healthy again. And over the course of that time, I was like, what can I do that takes all of my skills? So like, I have all this knowledge about real estate now. What do I do with that? And I've been a social media manager for at least 10 years. What do I do with that? How do I combine all these things? And so I was talking with friends who are still in the industry. And it was like, oh, what are real estate agents usually pretty bad at? Social media. And so like, through lots of different thoughts and chats with people, and myself taking a course kind of on how to like hone in and find what you can give back to the world, I decided that I was going to start a program for real estate agents to really learn how to use social media to their advantage. Wow. And so that's what I'm doing now. That's the long story to the short answer.
I love that. First of all, I love so much about that story. And I think that, first of all, I love how you started it saying something you were proud about yourself for, and the fact that you leave every situation in a way that feels good for you says a lot, because I think it can be common for people to stay too long and then be like, oh my God, I need to get out of here right now. And then they leave the situation all over the place. And it's, you know, they need to do what's best for them, but it's unfair to the other people too. And so I think that speaks a lot to your integrity and just the way that you navigate yourself through the world. And it's really impressive.
Oh, thank you.
So I think I wanted to say that. And I feel like without knowing it, you've followed this pulled through life. And known when you needed to leave, even if sometimes you stayed too long and it took you some lessons. Like it does sound like you were listening to the messages that the universe was sending you.
Unconsciously or consciously, I was definitely doing that. And oh my God, I just forgot my train of thought, but I don't want to see anyone stay in a situation that they're unhappy in because of fear of the unknown. Because usually on the other side of that fear is something that's incredibly fulfilling for the person. So while everything I've done has been scary, and I can say through it all, I have an incredible support system of family and friends and stuff that makes that easier for me to make those decisions. I don't think that everything that I've done, it would have been as easy for someone else as it was for me in my situation. But what I can say is that if you really start to listen to the universe and what it's giving you, it's going to guide you in the direction that you need to go in.
Yeah, I agree. There's always those quiet whispers, even when you're so detached from them, even when you're trying to ignore them. Like the sign is there, and you can tune into that. So I'm actually really curious what your relationship has been like with your intuition or just your spirituality in general, because it does sound like you've had that woven into your life for a while.
Yeah. I grew up with a very like spiritual mother. My dad really like forced us to go to Protestant, Christian church as I was growing up, and I just like never got it. I was like, I don't understand this. And I think my dad had this impression that like families that go to church stay together, which is very like wholesome.
Love that
Very
idea.
wholesome, but not my vibe. Definitely not my mom's vibe either. I don't really know how to explain it other than I have always felt this really intense safety net from the universe. I always feel like they're holding me and that they are guiding me to exactly what I need to be doing, even if the way to get there feels really hard. So that's, I think, something that I want to make a point about, is that it can still feel really hard. It's just you have to go through the hardness to grow. So yeah, it's just always been there. It's like innately ingrained in me. I don't know where it came from. And I will say that it is challenging for me to discern what is intuition and what is fear-based. And I'm still working on that. But I think I usually get to a point where I'm just like, fuck it, I give it up to you. Like, just take me where I'm supposed to go. I'm on the ride.
Yeah.
You tell me when I'm supposed to get off of it. And that's never failed.
Yeah, no, same here.
Yeah.
And I really think so much of it comes back to trust. Like, trust in
Yes.
yourself, trust in our path, like just really being like, I don't know, so here we go.
Yeah.
And I love how you said that it's not, following your intuition isn't the easy path.
No.
That's something that I try to emphasize so much, because I think there is some rhetoric out there of like, it should be easeful, and when you're manifesting, it should feel like you're in flow. And it's like, yes, sometimes, and I think there is a layer of that.
Yeah.
I think there is some ease.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not easy.
No.
And there's, following your intuition often is the harder path, because it's the unknown path. It's often the judged path or the scarier path. And the ease comes from not fighting yourself.
Yeah.
That's the part that for me feels more easeful when I listen to my intuition.
That's kind of, I think, the actual flow state is when you're like, you take away the restriction that's there, and you just like, you are in complete surrender to it. And it's, the intuition road is harder too, because you don't know what the end of that road looks like, because you're giving up creating that.
Yes.
You're like, I don't know what the end goal is here. I don't know what a 5-year plan is. I'm going to let you figure it out for me.
Exactly. That's how I felt. It's like, I can barely see one step in front of me, but I know there's a step. So I'm just going to continue down the path and like, hopefully maybe more will be illuminated soon, but like, we're still walking.
Right.
So.
Right. Exactly.
I'm curious, I don't know how much you know about human design, but everyone has an authority, which is kind of how your intuition speaks to you, and yours is ego authority. And so for that, it means following your wants and your desires. And so I'm curious what you know about that and what your experience has been like with that.
I don't know a ton about it, but I think I can speak to my experiences on it. I can't do something that I don't feel interested or passionate about. I can't do it. I'm not the girl for the job. Don't put me on that job site. I'm not there. I need to be like deeply interested and invested in what I am doing. So that's definitely where that comes in for sure. Yeah,
it's interesting because I have an emotional authority, but I do have a defined ego center. So I do have that in my chart. And it's like, if I don't want to do it,
I'm not doing it.
You can't make me do it. Because that's also, the ego is very stubborn and, very determined. So it's, I love connecting with people who have that center defined because they're also very heart-led.
Yes.
Like, I think it can get a bad rap for being selfish or
bratty.
Yeah. But really it's like, no, your heart knows what it wants and it's determined.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the stubborn thing, I mean, I'm fully
definitely
happy
stubborn.
to call myself a stubborn person. And if someone is really pushing me to do something that I'm either not ready to do or not interested in doing, that really rears its head, which all of this is really nice to know because it just allows you to check yourself. You're like, what part of me is coming out here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's that. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. So when do you know that it's time to pivot?
When I am not happy. You know, when happiness leaves me, there have been a couple like very specific times in my life. So when I moved to Boston, I was there for law school. I was going to be a lawyer. My dad was very happy.
Oh, man.
And I was in my first semester of law school, and I would go to sleep, and I'd wake up in the morning, and I'd go, okay, I have exactly 12 hours before I can go to bed again. And I'm like, if I become an attorney, I'm going to count the hours of my life away. And so I was like, I need to stop doing this. And so I left, which was really hard for my dad. He and I didn't talk for 3 months.
Wow.
And in that time, I found a master's program at a much better school, literally a block down the road from the law school I was going to. And it was the best 2 years of education of my life. I've never loved learning so much. I would do those 2 years over in a heartbeat. And so that is kind of actually the best example that I can give from my own life of like when you close the door that doesn't work, the other one really opens rather immediately usually.
And if it doesn't, it's because for you there's something. There's a lesson.
There's a lesson.
There's something there.
You got to go on a little bit of a journey.
Yeah. Gotta ride the ride.
You're gonna go on the journey. So yeah, it is a state of unhappiness.
Yeah.
Yep.
And your story is such a good example because a lot of people get stuck in the approval and the validation.
Oh, yeah.
And if they were to know, like, my dad's so proud of me, and if I make this decision, he's not even going to talk to me, that would be like, end of story.
Yeah.
And we really have to be willing to ruffle some feathers.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Especially with different generations and the way our world is changing.
Yep.
People, and just in general, like, people are not going to understand the choices you make.
Nope.
I really believe that if we're all following our unique path, no one else's is going to be the same, and we're going to have to, for many of us, make it up as we go. Like, yes, some people are meant to be lawyers and meant to be doctors.
Sure.
100%.
Yes.
But I think as our world changes more and more, there's going to be more people creating careers that no one's even heard of before. And most people are and that's going to look scary.
Yeah.
People are going to judge that. People aren't going to understand it, and we have to be willing to do it anyway.
Yes. There is like this hurdle that you need to overcome with fear of imposter syndrome, but also fear of not receiving the validation you hope to receive. You really need to let go of that. And also like fear of failure.
Yeah. It's like you're speaking right to me.
When I like went to start this new business venture, I mean, failure is always like the little voice in the back of my mind of like, what if this doesn't work out? And you like put this whole idea out to the world and you like changed your whole Instagram and everyone knows about it and they're gonna know if you fail. And it's like, I actively have to turn that voice off because failure doesn't like really fucking matter at the end of the day. Like scientists don't say that they fail. They say that like an experiment didn't work. So everything that I do now is just like an experiment and we're going to like see if it makes me happy. Yeah.
I love that. And that's been a framework I've really had to adopt because, you know, I am opening this physical space for my business.
Yeah.
being more public with my business than I ever had before. And it's terrifying in a lot of ways, especially because I am being so public. Like, if it fails, everyone knows.
It's out there.
And that has reared its head in my brain so many times. I've had to be like, it doesn't matter. This is what my intuition is telling me to do. And if for some reason it quote unquote fails, that won't be a failure. It will be what led me to the ultimate thing.
Yes, exactly.
So it's all about like, what even is failure?
Yeah.
You know, like we all have to define our own version of success. We all have to define what failure means.
Yeah.
And I think empowering ourselves in that way can shift our whole perspective on life, really.
Totally. You have to reframe it somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not worth having that hold you back.
Yeah.
You have to think about, like, if I'm dying, I'm on my deathbed, am I going to, like, regret the choices that I made because I was afraid to do them? And at the end of the day, no one really cares what you're doing.
100%.
They don't. And if they do, they should get a hobby, you know, and they're not people that you need to have in your life.
Exactly. That's something I've had to tell myself a lot as well, is like, the people who are judging, who are spending their time like thinking negatively or misunderstanding or whatever, like, that's on them.
Yeah.
And that speaks to their dissatisfaction with their life or their insecurities or what they're going through, lessons they have to learn. And I'm going to be confident in my path. And when I fail, I'm going to be confident in that as well.
Yeah.
If I fail, you know, and it sounds cliche, but I actually don't think people take the time to think about, am I using my life in a way that makes me happy? Am I actually happy with how my life is day to day?
Yeah.
And happiness looks different to everyone.
Totally.
But for me, it's like, I want to have an amazing life.
Yeah.
And also, you know, maybe this is me being a little contrarian, but like, I don't want my life to look like anyone else's.
Yeah.
I don't want to be following anyone else's path. I want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And so you have to have the courage to be able to live a life that's yours.
And I think there's something to be said for, like, something that I always want to check myself about is, like, the privilege to live that life.
Yes.
Because, you know, I can tell people all day long to, like, go out and live your dream. But unfortunately, we live in a society where it's really hard to go after your dream in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And that, like, kind of kills me a little bit. It makes me really sad because I just feel like in our world, there's going to be a lot of people that are on their deathbeds regretting how they had to live their life because of the society or the country that they lived in. And that sucks.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's a really important topic to talk about. And for me, actually, the fact that I have the privilege I do has brought me a lot of guilt and shame and sometimes held me back. And I have to say to myself, first of all, I was born with this privilege for a reason. I believe, you know, we're assigned the life that we are for a reason. And also, it would be doing the world a disservice if everyone who had privilege didn't use it in the best way they could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And if I just like stayed small because I felt bad about it. And ultimately, then we can hopefully use our impact, use our work to help others.
Yeah.
But I think that it's so important to be comfortable I think it's a topic that people can kind of stray away from.
Totally.
Like, it can be a little taboo, but I think talking about it is important because, first of all, it shines the light on the fact that we need to somehow shift our society and make changes.
Yeah.
And that not everyone's on the same playing field.
Totally.
And that's the awareness around all of that is really important.
Yeah. I think it's too, if we can put ourselves in positions of acts of service towards others in whatever capacity that is. You know, like when I took my time off to kind of like figure out this new, this may sound really silly, but it was very meaningful to me,
And it's not silly.
to, you know, take on this new venture and think about what that's like. I became a Pilates instructor because I was like, something I really want to do is to help people move their bodies, because we all feel better when we're in movement and when we're centered, mind-body connection. And so that is like, my mentor calls it like, where are you like using your tithing? Like, where are you going out and giving back? And so that's something that I can feel. And I teach classes that aren't a ton of money so that everyone can come and like experience that. And I hope in this work that I'm taking a venture to do, it's something that is like fulfilling for people. So I think if we can like center ourselves around like acts of service, or this concept of like tithing, like what are you giving to the world? That helps people heal in like a massive way.
Absolutely. And that's not silly at all. I think it's such a perfect example, because I think people can get caught up in the fact in like, oh, what can I do? Like, I don't have the power. I don't have anything special to offer the world, or I can't make an impact on such a huge group of people. And also like, I can't change laws or whatever.
Right.
But we all have different, again, comes back to how we are all unique. We all have different paths. I would do horrible trying to like be in the government, like trying to change laws and like doing social things like you don't want me there. And I have no interest in it.
Right.
So deciding like that's the only way to change the world would do me and the world a disservice, because then I wouldn't have the ability to look at what actually brings me joy and the gifts I actually have to offer and the service that I can bring. And so I think it's about, again, following your intuition and trusting what you're actually good at and what you actually care about, and doing that, because we're not all meant to care about the same things.
No.
There's so many, like, go volunteer with dogs, or like, you know, there's like so many different examples. So that I think, again, shifting your perspective around what service is, what impact is, what it means to change the world, and deciding for yourself what it is.
Yeah. I mean, if we all tried to like jump on the bandwagon with the same thing, the issue would get worse, not better.
100%.
So it's all about, I think, trying to find where you can make like your bit of difference in other people's lives, and like really honing in on that.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk to you about the Pilates aspect from a different lens as well, because you do kind of have these two businesses now.
Yeah.
And so I was curious how that feels for you, if they feel like very two distinct things that's easy to navigate, or if there's some challenge around that.
There's no challenge now, but as my other business hopefully grows, I can see that becoming a challenge to teaching Pilates, because, you know, you're like in the physical space. It takes a certain amount of time out of your schedule. But the Pilates for me has been like cathartic. Like, it really helped me heal. And I've never worked with the body before. I've never worked in movement. So it was like also this totally new skill set that felt extremely like natural to fall into. And I love it. It is such like a heart-centered work for me. And I love the people that come to my class. I love engaging with them. It's so cool to watch people progress and get stronger. So two completely separate things, really very, very different, that I hope to be able to continue to always balance. Yeah. Because it, like, the Pilates makes me a better person. It makes me a more patient person. I love being able to teach. It's so satisfying for me, is to be able to teach people. So I hope, as fulfilling as Pilates is, me being able to teach and guide people in this program that I'm putting together is just as fulfilling and heart-led. Yeah.
Yeah. So many questions just came to my head. But But there is this crossover between what you do around people and how important it is for you to connect with people.
Yeah.
And has that always been a theme in your life?
Whole life. My parents are small business owners. They owned health food stores. They opened them when I was 6.
Wow.
So I've been running a cash register since I could do basic math. And working like face to face with human beings. And then from every job I've ever had has been consumer facing in some capacity. I've always gravitated towards like non-traditional hour style jobs. I don't want to do the same thing every single day, but I have to be working with other human beings, for better or worse. You know, events was, so very interesting. And real estate was, as well. You know, it's you're dealing with a lot of emotions. You're dealing with a lot of people who have not done inner child work. That's what I'll say.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you get like such a wide range of different people.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
So what is it about, if you can pinpoint, what is it about connecting with people that you really love, or is it just the essence it brings you?
I think that's the point of life. Like, I think we are social beings. I think that we are not meant to be like, you know, I kind of agree with return to the office. We are not meant to be isolated. I mean, some people are, but the majority of us are not meant to be isolated from one another. I feel so bad for, you know, Gen Z kids that they don't go to the bars with each other after work, or they, you know, it's so not the way that I think society is supposed to function. If you're not engaging with other people and learning about them, you're not growing. You have to deal with people. You have to be uncomfortable sometimes, or else you're really gonna you're not gonna move forward.
I could not agree more. I think that this is one reason why I'm so passionate about opening a physical space for my business, because I think, you know, people are trending more and more online and talking more and more about AI. And I believe that our world needs to take a turn in the other direction. Yeah. I believe we need more spaces to connect with people. We need more opportunities to be in community and to like actually talk to people. Yeah. And I agree, it brings up more discomfort. It brings us out of our comfort, out of our safety zone. Yeah. And we've created these nets around ourselves of just staying at home. I don't think that that's what our world is meant to be like. No. And I really think we need to put down the screens. And get back to actually talking to each other. Yeah. But that brings up another thought for me, because you also help people with social media. Yeah. So we'd also love to hear about your relationship with social media.
It's a tricky one. You know, there's a balance with social media. I am on my phone way more than I would like to be.
As we all are.
Yep. I see, I mean, specifically for what I'm doing for real estate agents, I see social media as the greatest free marketing platform that they could ever ask for. And real estate is a hard industry to be in. We had 4 amazing years of real estate, but that's not normal. And so if people can be empowered in that business and not feel burdened and beholden to their broker, they can really build themselves this business that it's really infinite at that point. That is so powerful to me. And the power that could give to individuals feels incredible. I'd be so happy, to be able to teach people how to do that. It's really about using social media as a tool for empowerment so that you are not beholden to anyone else and you can do it all on your own if you need to.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. So it's not all good or bad, black or white.
No.
There's definitely beauty in social media. And I think it's about using it for what it helps each individual do and then putting it down.
Yeah.
And for me, part of what I can get caught up in is feeling like I need to be connected to people online, because you get on Instagram, there's so many people doing all the things. And what I always remind myself is I want to put out what I need to put out for my business and then get off and connect with people in person.
Yeah.
And for me, that aspect of it, that kind of like delineation between how I use it, is really important, because I think we can get so caught up in feeling like we're connecting with others because we're just scrolling through their short snippets of life.
Yeah. And there's a lot of comparison that happens because you're only seeing a short little snippet of their lives.
Yes.
Which is dangerous. Forever grateful that I did not grow up with social media. Feel very bad for kids that are having to navigate that in the most fragile years of their lives.
I can't, I mean, I feel like I'm trying to remember when I feel like it started for me in high school.
Yeah.
And even that I feel like is too young.
Yeah.
I really see it as like, a business tool, but because when you use it so young, you're like immediately forming your identity around how you show up online versus using those years to get to know yourself as a whole layered human.
Yeah, you're judging yourself based on like likes, shares, bookmarks, and not about who you are as a human being when you're just with your friends. And like just showing up in the real world and not this made up manufactured world that it seems like everybody wants to live in.
Exactly.
I was thinking about, do you ever watch Sex and the City?
Yes.
Like from beginning to end?
I did, yes.
So there, the first seasons of Sex and the City, when I watch them, I am nostalgic for something that I never had. I would love to go to a bar and to have to check your phone at the door. And just to get to see how everybody would interact.
Yeah.
I am like desperately nostalgic for something that I will never experience in my life. And I think that it can be an amazing tool for your business, but you also have to know how to interact with people off of it.
Yeah. Theo,
you have...
He's really gone at that duck.
The duck is dead.
See that when he can't, that's his like way of getting out his aggression.
Yeah. He's self-soothing over there.
Exactly. Which actually is an interesting topic. Do you have tools that you turn to when you need to self-soothe yourself?
Oh my God, yeah. There's a couple. One of my favorite things to do is to take the longest shower in the world. There's something about like water that is very healing and calming for me. I'll turn on the shower, I'll lay down on the floor and just let myself be there for like 30, 45 minutes and not think about anything. Like, I think it's more of like a tactile, like I'm feeling the water on my body. I feel the cold tile underneath me. It's grounding me.
Yeah.
So I'm getting out of my head because monkey mind is a big thing for me. It's always on up here. And then, there are days where I just need to lay down on the couch and be absolutely mindless and just watch something. That is like one of the things that really like turns my brain off. And then the other one is I go for a really long walk. Those are my three like comfort kind of coping mechanisms.
I love all of those. And I feel like with the first one, with the water, it's like bringing you back into your body, tuning into all your sensations and really getting present, but not too present.
Yeah.
And bring you back down.
Yeah.
And then the second one, I think especially in the kind of like spiritual wellness world, there can be, and we've come out of this a bit, but there can be negative talk around watching
consuming
TV.
media.
Yeah. And I think that does us a disservice and just brings us more things to feel guilty about. When really that brings us so much joy.
Yeah.
And there are so many times when even if it's not even, let's say, bringing us joy, but it's just us like relaxing.
Yeah.
So important.
I need to watch 6 episodes of Love is Blind back to back, and I'm not going to feel any bit of shame or guilt around that.
Oh, absolutely not. First of all, now I know who to talk to about Love is Blind because it's the only reality TV show I watch and I get so into it. Love that. And I will absolutely not feel guilty about that.
No guilt.
I also just lost my train of thought.
That's fine.
I was getting so...
You're like, Love is Blind, yes.
Thinking about Love is Blind. There's a new season, I think, in September.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
The last few have been real duds. So I'm hoping for something good.
Yeah, the last one was
awful.
Not good. Okay. So when it comes to this method you're creating for your business, I would love to hear about the creation process of that. Ooh. Because I'm really interested in people's creativity and how it takes different shapes and forms. And so I'd be curious how that process felt for you.
I found a really great mentor to work with. And I've always found mentors in life for this or that. I would recommend that people find mentors. Free ones or ones you have to pay, doesn't matter. It's probably the best money you'll ever spend.
I completely agree.
Yep. And she was really helpful in helping me realize that this is what I needed to do. Because the idea started very differently. It was that I was going to really run people's social media, like run social media for real estate agents. And I realized I hate running other people's social media. I did it for 10 years. I never enjoyed it. But what I would enjoy doing is teaching people. And I think that what she helped me kind of develop and realize is that it really speaks to the manifestor in me, because I give people the spark to create and then I leave, which is really exactly how I should be moving through life.
Yes.
And so the process has been a little bit messy, but I'm fortunate and grateful that I've been able to really take my time with this stage of my life, which I've never done before. It's always been much messier to begin. And this time I really got to step back and take my time with it and breathe through it. And it's been very confusing. But I have now really kind of completed the bulk of the program, doing all of these recordings. And I think I've really found my voice online of who I am. It's like, professional, but there's also some like silly goofiness in it, which speaks to really who I am as a person. So it's starting to feel like probably the most aligned version of myself that I can create. And it's helped me become really excited to see how it all evolves, because it's not going to stay the same. In a month it could look a little bit different. In 6 months it could look very different depending on what people need. So creative process is kind of like hard for me to pinpoint, but I think it's that if you're going to go out and create something, you have to find some good people to help guide you through that process. It's this idea of community, that we are supposed to be interacting with others, because that's who's going to make you the best version of yourself.
Yeah, there are a couple of points that you said that I want to highlight. One is the mentor piece, because I think that's another role in society that has been kind of taken away that I think we need to bring back.
Yeah.
my life has been changed by mentors way more than traditional teachers that I had in school. And sometimes it takes some trial and error to find the right mentor and the right fit for you, but it's definitely worth the effort and the time and whatever investment you need. So I think there's that. And then I think another key part of the creative process is letting yourself get messy and not knowing what the end goal is going to be when you start. And being okay with that. Being willing to kind of to be guided by that blind trust and walk through the dark. And if you do have an idea of what the end goal is going to be, or just in general have this vision, another key part of the creative process is being willing for things to change. Being open to changing your mind, for the idea to take a whole different shape, to lead you to a whole other path. Like really letting, I think creativity, our creative projects are something that kind of has a life of its own. And we just have to, I mean, I've felt that in my own life, like we just kind of follow it down its path, and it's always transforming and changing. And so are we.
Absolutely. Yeah. If there's advice I can give to anyone, it's like, don't draw hard lines in the sand for yourself. Let everything be expansive and allow like every option and possibility to enter your mind, because then it can take root in your like physical space. So limitless.
Exactly. And like let life change you, and then let that change be embodied. Let yourself change.
Like, have it be a physical thing for you.
How, if you could define or label this season or cycle that you feel like you're in life right now, what would you say?
Do you want me to give like a word or whatever?
Free reign, whatever feels good for you.
I feel like this word has been coming up a lot for me is discernment. Being discerning with your time, being discerning on what you put your energy into. I spent a lot of my younger life doing whatever anybody wanted me to do, and like trying to be like that girl that everybody could rely on, and not taking care of myself and letting everyone into my space. And that is not a serving way to exist. And you do need to be like slightly selfish at times. And that's only to protect yourself. So I think now I've learned a lot of lessons, and it's time to be like discerning on where I place my trust and my energy and my love. And that feels really good.
Yeah, I think that that's so powerful, because it can be very easy for us to want to people please, or even to help as many people as we possibly can. But we're not meant to help everyone.
No.
And I think when you can really key in, especially for you, on what you want, and for all of us following whatever our individual intuition is, and letting it show us who we're meant to serve and in what way, and then saying no to the rest. And yes, I guess it can be seen as selfish, but really I see it as just honest and courageous, because when you're being truthful about who you are meant to serve and how, you're freeing up everyone to connect to their own path as well.
It's hard to get there, because I think a lot of us are born like natural people pleasers.
Or we're kind of
molded into that.
Forced into that, taught to be that way.
I think especially millennials in particular. But you have to pull back. Because you're just gonna drain yourself. Of all your creativity, honestly.
Exactly. All your creativity, all your energy, your vitality. 100%. Okay. I've recently changed the wording for the last question, so I have to read it. Okay. Living intuitively wild means connecting to your true self and living dedicated to who you are at your core, no matter what. How do you feel like you live intuitively wild?
Ooh, I mean, I think I'm in a place in my life now where I'm done living for others. And that's been like a slow progression of my life, of letting go of expectations that others have for me and truly wanting to live for myself and the people that like fill me up every day. So it's all of the actions that led me to where I am now, to be in this discerning point in my life that let me be intuitively wild.
I love that. And I can feel that from you. Like, I feel like you're like clicking into this version of yourself that just follows what you know is right for you.
Yeah. I'm proud of myself. It's been a long time. Well, not even really a long time. It's been 35 years of getting to a point where I really like who I am now. And that's a fun realization to have. And it's exciting to look forward to like what the next 35 years look like.
Life is so much more fun when you just like yourself.
Yeah. And it's, constantly checking the way that feels and whatnot. And of course, like we all have that little voice in the back of our head that gives us doubt. But the more you acknowledge and recognize those things, the less they speak to you and the more resilient you become.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chelsea, thank you so much for being here. You were like, I'm not interesting. Like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. I loved this conversation.
Me too.
So thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. You're a wonderful facilitator of discussion. This was really, really fun.
It was really just nice for me to sit down with you and chat. So
I know. I'm so excited that this was our first meeting.
Yes, me too. It feels perfect.
Yes.
Please share with everyone where they can connect with you.
Oh, yes. So I'm on Instagram as Magnetic Agent Social. And also if you want Pilates content, I'm on there as Field View Pilates. And yeah, I mean, Instagram is the best place to find ya girl. So
amazing. Yay. You're crazy, dude. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Intuitively Wild, the podcast. I hope it helped deepen your connection to yourself, sparked some insights, and inspired you to live intuitively wild. If you enjoyed this podcast, it would mean so much to me if you would share it with others and leave a rating and review. And please reach out to me. I would love to connect with you. I will see you next time for more magic.